Hello. Welcome to Freedom in Humanity. Please subscribe to my channel after watching the video. This video is the 16th part of Prophets of God. This video is about the prophet of God named David. Please stay with us until the end of the video. David was one of the prophets of Israel who became king and conquered Jerusalem for Israel. The book of Psalms was revealed to him and he had the position of judge. David had a beautiful voice, and God gave him the power to make armor. David has a high position among the Jews, however, there are accusations against him in the Torah. Lineage and family. David the son of Esau was the son of Jacob. David is considered to be a short, green, and short man who was born circumcised. Solomon was the son of David and became his successor. Prophecy and the kingdom. David was one of the great prophets of Israel. God revealed the book of Psalms to David. After Moses and Joshua, there were men led by the people called judges. The last judge was Samuel, whom the children of Israel asked to appoint a king. Eventually Saul came to the kingdom. There was a great war at the time of Taluk. Taluk promised every Goliath person, he kills the biggest hero of the enemy corps, gives him half of his rub and marries his daughter. In that war, David was able to kill Goliath and take half of Taluk's property and became his son-in-law. Prophecy and the kingdom each remained among a certain generation of Jacob, but God gave these two positions to David, and after Taluk died, David became king of Israel. The history of the kingdom of David is recorded in the 10th and 11th books of the Old Testament, entitled the second book of Samuel and the first book of Kings. David was with Lachiman all the time, and when Lachiman advised him, David praised him. Jerusalem was conquered by David's time. Psalms. The Psalms are a book that was revealed to David based on the Quran and Islamic hadiths. This book is a collection of advice, wisdom, and prayer to God. The name of the psalm is mentioned 3 times in the Quran. The Psalms of David, entitled Psalms, are the 17th book of the Old Testament and contain 150 pieces of prayer. Highlights. Verses and narrations have quoted many attributes for David. According to the Quran, David understood the language of animals, and God gave him rule and wisdom and taught him what he wanted. David is considered to be a person who worshipped a lot and cried a lot in the fear of God. Various narrations have been narrated about the worship of David. The prophet praised the fast and prayer of David. David fasted one day, then rested one day and fasted again the next day. According to the Quran, mountains and birds also glorified God along with David, but of course, meanings and justifications have been mentioned for glorifying mountains and birds. Verdict. God gave David the wisdom and the chapter of being addressed and ordered him to judge among the people. The Quran mentions some of David's judgment. The Quran quotes a mistake by David in judging. In this story, 2 people came to David and one of them said that my brother has 99 sheep and I have only 1 sheep and he insists on taking one of my sheep. Here David judges without listening to the other person and gives the right in favor of the first person. David then realized that this was a divine test and that he had made a mistake. He asked his Lord for forgiveness for this wrong ruling, prostrated and repented. Armor. The Quran states that God taught David to make armor. In some sources, it is narrated that God praised David and considered him a good servant, but he considered it disgusting that he did not have a job and only made a living from the treasury. David was upset and cried. God taught him how to make armor. David also made and sold armor, and lived this way and became destitute of the treasury. Good voice. David is considered to be very vocal, in such a way that God did not give a voice to anyone like him, and when David read the book of Psalms, all the animals came to him and listened to his voice. David to the Jews. David had a high status among the Jews and many of his stories are quoted in the Jewish Bible. Many of these stories have also found their way into Islamic sources and are entitled Israelites, some of which are incompatible with Islamic principles. Adultery with a married woman. In the Jewish Bible, there is an almost long story in which David commits adultery with a married woman. Part of this story is reflected in Islamic books. However, this story is not in line with the beliefs of Muslims, and Shiite narrations have also opposed this slander against Dawood. Imam Ali, says, "Whoever is brought to me to say that David had intercourse with Uriah's wife, I will impose 2 limits on him, one to insult the position of prophethood and the other to slander David." Star of David. Star of David. The 6-pointed star consists of 2 triangles and is essentially 2 pyramids. One with the top facing up and the other upside down. There is disagreement about the origin of the symbol. The Star of David is considered by some to be the Shield of David, but others believe that the formation of the star dates back to the 6th to 7th centuries AD, which has different values according to Jewish mysticism. Death. David died at the age of 100 and after 40 years of rule. Thank you dear friends for watching this video. Please subscribe to this channel. Be happy in any case. Freedom in humanity.